just for those who haven't gotten word of this, who haven't, will miss out. So yeah. Oh. One more paper. It's on the floor. There we go. Not that one.
Oh, sorry.
It's a little. Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, today I present to you myths from history. I present to you today myths from history. So in all of history, sometimes certain facts can get perpetuated and told to one generation, that gets told to the next generation, that gets told to the next generation, and so on and so forth. And sometimes these facts can get a bit bent. And these are then, of course, called myths. They don't exist. But so many people still think they do exist. So I'm going to be here trying to bust a few myths from history with some, all the way up to 8, some very famous myths, some not so famous myths. But how about we start? So, Mr. Bradley,
Yes.
Union, can you just pass my phone over there? Nice. Let's get some music on, partners, to keep us warm. All right, here we are. Nice. So, myth number 1. Anybody can guess what this item represents, which myth this represents? Yes? Dinosaurs is to do with dinosaurs, yes. Anybody else? Any other guess to what myth number 1 is? Going. We've had dinosaurs so far.
Killed by a meteorite.
Oh, the dinosaurs being killed by a meteorite. That's actually not really a myth. The dinosaurs were in fact made extinct in late Cretaceous by a meteorite, but a few other environmental factors, no. The myth over here is, did humans exist with dinosaurs? No, not at all. Humans, the first modern humans that we call Homo sapiens came around 200,000 years ago, and that's when Homo sapiens as we know it came about. But even 2 million years ago, Homo erectus, our distant ancestors, were around. But dinosaurs went extinct 65 million years ago. 200,000 years, 65 million years. I think you guys can see the difference. So yes, that notion of humans hunting dinosaurs, running away from T-Rexes is a big myth. However, humans were around saber-toothed cats and woolly mammoths because that was the Ice Age. Humans indeed were flourishing around in the Ice Age. They were prey, but humans as we know it today, Homo sapiens, were around Ice Age. So yes, myth number 1, busted. Myth number 2, anybody guess what this myth is based on that wreath? That's a bit of a hard one. Any guesses? I just want to hear what you think.
Something to do with Julius Caesar.
Something to do with Julius Caesar. Yeah, similar, sort of. Zeus. Sorry, not quite.
Nero fiddled while Rome burned.
Oh yes, indeed he did. He played his lyre apparently. So this myth I am representing with people think that the Romans did the fascist salute. You know the fascist salute? So people think that Romans did the fascist salute. I see it in films. That's a myth. There's zero evidence of the Romans doing the fascist salute. This is actually a Victorianism. A Victorian painting of the Romans saluting Neptune made popular the idea that the Romans did the fascist salute. And hence people think why Benito Mussolini copied it and Hitler copied it from Mussolini. The Romans, no evidence they did it. So myth 2, busted. Oh, I'm gonna worry when I get to this thing. It's a tank, it should be fine. Cool. So, myth number 3. Any guesses to what the star represents?
Christmas.
Jesus. Jesus' birth. Well done. No, I'm not saying Jesus' birth is a myth. No, not at all. It's documented. He was in fact born. The date of his birth is a myth. When do you guys think he was born? No, like what is the popular mindset? Yes?
Christmas Day.
Christmas Day, 25th of December. Christmas Day. So ladies and gentlemen, in fact, Jesus was, there's zero evidence of him being born on the, oh, I see the war's still going. Kinda, we're at peace now, right? Where's the love? That's still 100 years time about make love, not war. Anyway, like I was saying, there's zero evidence of Christ being born on the 25th December. No records, no Hebrew records, no Roman records. In fact, historians argue that he was actually born closer to 2 or 3 BC, around March time. Various evidences, such as Pompeii being the governor of the area. So a few clashes of who's the administrator of Judea. And another very obvious factor that anyone can think of is shepherds out at night attending their flock in the dead of winter. It's a bit doesn't make sense, but yes, it's to do with the rule of the state of Judea at the time. It didn't clash. It didn't make sense with him being born in 0 AD. However, the notion of him being born the 25th of December comes from the Roman holiday Saturnalia. Some of you might remember during the French Revolution show, I did a talk about the Phrygian hat coming from Saturnalia, the Roman holiday. So did the notion of Christmas. In the 4th century AD, Emperor Constantine of Rome made Christianity Rome's official religion. Remember how the Romans were persecuting the Christians? They crucified Christ. Fast forward, the Christians were just too much of a force to be ignored, so the Roman emperor thought, well, let's just make Christianity our religion. And of course, what better holiday than our pagan Saturnalia to replace it with than Christmas? And Saturnalia, for those who don't know, is the harvest celebration to honor the god Saturn during harvest. So that was the official date in Roman calendar. 25 December, Saturnalia. So yeah, myth number 2 busted. I'm not going to drop that. Myth number 3 busted. So myth number 4. Any guesses to this?
A1 Abrams.
An Abrams tank. Yeah, I think it is an Abrams tank. Not too sure. It's a toy. No, it's to do with tanks though. Any other guesses? You? Yes?
That they shoot it at multiple times with a gun.
Oh, like
Like the sound you're making, the sound you're making.
not quite. Different tanks in history. Some could fire automatically. But yes, it's to do with tanks. I'll tell you now. The invention of the tank. When did the tank come out? When was it invented? World War II. No. Any other guesses when the tank came out?
1915-ish.
We'll let a few other guesses. Yes.
World War III?
World War III.
I don't know.
Future technology. So in fact, ladies and gentlemen, tanks came out in World War I. 1915, the British were experimenting with armored machines to help break the deadlock in the trenches. They created the first basic Mark I tank. Soldiers called it the thingamajig. That's where the word thingamajig comes from. Soldiers didn't know what to call it. But eventually it got called a tank. And the German tanks were also called tanks because they didn't know what to call them. Later they'd call them panzers. But yes, tanks came out in World War I, not sooner, not later. So World War I gave birth to the age of tanks in warfare, and they're still around today. Tanks such as this fairly modern one used as well. So yes, myth number 4. I won't drop that, all right? Cool, myth number 6. Anybody based on the book can guess what that is?
Pluto's a planet.
And no, the solar system is not a myth. It does exist. Pluto is a planet. Actually, I'm talking about something else, but yes. For a long time, Pluto was deemed a planet until 2006. Then they classified as a dwarf planet. Some people still thought it was a planet. Yeah, that's a myth. No, there's an even more serious myth at play over here. Any guesses?
I guess what you touched on earlier on, that the planets revolve around the sun.
That was actually disproved by Nicholas Copernicus 500 years ago. It's not really a myth today. Sorry, not quite that. Yes?
Oh,
yes.
today.
Yeah, today. No, these are current myths now. Yes?
The Earth is flat.
The Earth is flat. yes.
People still believe that.
I mean, if you think about it, none of us have seen Earth from space, but one way to know is you look at the horizon and you see that ships slowly go down when they exit harbor. That's due to curvature, because if the Earth was flat, we could see China from here. You'd need a very good telescope, but yes, not quite. This myth over here is the size of the solar system. Some people, this book goes back to the 1990s. These are all Voyager images. Hubble, I don't even think has been launched at this time. Voila. People think the solar system, all the planets are this close to each other. Some people think, okay, they're a little bit further, like maybe, how about this far apart? So can you see this image of the solar system? Some people think the planets are literally this close to each other. If that were the case, we could see Mars in full broad daylight over here. No, in fact, ladies and gentlemen, the solar system is measured in what we call astronomical units. 1 astronomical unit is a distance between Sun and the Earth. Mercury is 0.3 astronomical units away, Venus is 0.7 astronomical units away, Earth is 1 astronomical unit away. Neptune is 30 astronomical units away, so 30 times further than Earth is to the Sun. Now, if we were to do an example, let me show you. Where's that? Here we are. Pretend I'm the Sun. Pretend that this over here is Earth that we live in. If the Sun is about my size, Earth would actually be literally the size of a little bit bigger than a pinhead, literally. But if we scale it up, if this is the size of Earth, Sun would then have to be probably about the size of the junction, this whole cafe. This is Earth next to the Sun. Earth's distance to the Sun over here would be and I didn't actually throw it far enough. That's just how far it is. So yes, the distances between the solar system are so vast. That's why Mars looks like a pinprick of a star. That's just how far it is. The Earth takes 9 months to get to Mars with our current technology. And Mars is 16 light minutes away. So hence, it takes light 16 minutes to travel from Mars to Earth. So literally, you'll call someone on the radio waves travel speed of light. Hello? Let's do it. Anyone got a watch? Time 16 minutes? I'm just kidding. I won't keep you that long. That's how long it would take to just get light to Mars. So it just shows you the distance of the solar system. So yes, myth number 6 busted. However, we skipped number 5. Where's number 5? So ladies and gentlemen, myth number 5. Any guesses?
We exist.
I mean, I think I exist, but yeah. Any other guesses? Yes. It's a tricky one. That's fine, I'll just tell you. The exploration of the Earth. The very Earth we're standing on, when is it going to expire? I've heard theories of, people saying aliens going to invade, or 2012, all remember 2012 when they said the Earth will end.
2 billion years?
2 billion years? No. Any other guesses? Yes. Place your bets, 2025, 2025, going. Any other bets? Yes, cast your bets. And so, sorry. No, the Earth is actually going to expire in 5 billion years. How it will expire is, you look at the Sun. The Sun is estimated to be 4.5 billion years old. The Sun is halfway in its life at the moment. The Sun is projected to expand and turn into a giant in 5 billion years' time, and then it will shrink again to a dwarf. And when it expands, its radius will engulf Mercury, Venus, and Earth completely. That's just how big it's going to expand. It's unbelievable. There's something that we call the Goldilocks zone, which is the perfect warm spot where planets can be to live nice and comfortable. Earth is in the Goldilocks zone. When the Sun expands, the new Goldilocks zone is going to be by Saturn. So Saturn's literally going to evaporate, quite literally. Are there Northerners chasing it, North? North, stop sending your souls like cows and face me, alright? Alright, I'm just finishing my talk. I'll be done in a couple of minutes. So yeah, that is, that's the exploration of planet Earth. Myth number 5 busted. Myth number 7 over here.
Napoleon was short.
Napoleon was short. Well done. So ladies and gentlemen, the famous myth of Napoleon Bonaparte was a short general who conquered Europe to supplement for his shortness complex. No, that was British propaganda. I briefly mentioned it during the play, in Napoleon's play. If any of you noticed that when I said it was British propaganda. It's true. Napoleon was actually average height. Some measurements say he was 1.7 meters high, which for that time, average height. So yes, Napoleon actually was not short. That was British propaganda. Myth number 7 busted. And last but not least, myth number 8. Anybody know what myth this is? It's to do with this helmet, literally.
Viking horns.
Viking and horns on their helmets. The myth that Vikings wore horns on their helmets is a myth, yes. Vikings actually didn't wear horns on their helmets. This was also another Victorianism. Apparently it was Wagner who perpetuated this idea, the German composer, in the 1800s. Vikings never wore horns on their helmets because imagine, you are on your longship raiding English coasts. Last thing you need is horns.
I see that my horns got stuck in the sails over here, Eric. Yes, Olaf, help me, oh!
It's just,
The horn fellows.
the horn fell. So yes, the Vikings never wore horns on their helmets. That's another myth. Busted. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of my myths from history presentation. I hope you enjoyed and learned something. And of course, I will see you next week.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank